All right, last up, it's the recent segment we started here in which I watch the top trending video on the trending tab of YouTube and give you a little breakdown so we know what's going on in the world, not just tech, but like better cultural representation of what matters to people. And I was actually surprised today to find a video from JonTron because like number 2 has 16 million views and his video has 1.9, but his is ahead of that. So that's kind of interesting. But anyhow, I guess maybe because it's more fresh. It's a day old compared to 2 days old. But anyway, nonetheless, it's kind of a weird top trending video. It's a pretty classic YouTuber updating his audience, responding to comments, and like, here's where I've been, here's what I'm doing type of video. I went on to watch a couple of his videos after this. This video in particular, a fireside chat with JonTron. He addresses a very particular type of comment that he gets within his audience of kind of, when's the next video? Where have you been? You should publish more videos. And then also the criticism of, you should make the videos you used to make. Which is like, if you've ever spent any time on YouTube publishing videos, you know this comment. You know this comment very well. For some reason, there's, particularly when it comes to the stuff, to the videos or video style that you've made previously, where people will say, where people feel strongly that that's the thing you were made for and therefore should continue to do. And in their defense, that's what might be the time in which they signed up. But I think more than that, I think it has more to do with that person's stage in their lives, remembering fondly, than it does with their actual daily activities of today. I'm just speculating right now. But the reason for my speculation is because, for example, on our channel, people will say, you got to make videos. Where's all the cool products? You're doing too many videos on phones, let's say, for example. Comment. You could then go make a video on some random gadget and it gets like half the views. And it's like, oh, this commenter might be telling the truth, but they also are obviously not representative of the majority of the audience. Or, on top of that, they may think that's what they want, but in reality, the reality might not measure up exactly in that department. At least, again, from an analytics standpoint, the numbers don't lie. Now, obviously, when a channel's been going on for a long time, a channel like ours upstairs on Box Therapy, 15 million subscribers or close to it, there's a lot of different people that want a lot of different things, obviously. But in JonTron's case, he's facing a similar thing where he used to make videos about video games, critical comedy criticism type videos about video games. I guess he hasn't done one in a long time. And so the audience is coming in with, you should do that. What's wrong with you? You're not doing what you should be doing type of thing. And he's kind of saying, hey, I'm doing what I think is best for this era right now, for where I'm at and so on and so forth. So it's your classic dilemma, your classic YouTuber dilemma. Anyways, the other part of the show, of this particular clip, is in relationship to YouTube's policies. He's been hit by demonetization in a couple of cases. And he goes over the demonetization policies and kind of talks about how they're very vague. And this actually spoke to me because ever since we started on this channel, talking more broadly, not specifically product-centric, it's been a similar experience for me of like trying to interpret the vagueness of it and watching the demonetization pop up here and there and then go away at some point. And particularly this one that he highlighted on controversial issues and sensitive events. Sensitive events including war, controversial issues including political conflict. So we spoke about Hong Kong in the past. As soon as you show any kind of like protest imagery or talk about it, demonetization. And now, in his case, I'm not sure which circumstance, or he does talk about which circumstance led to it. But anyway, it was another kind of vague gray area that led to it. In our case, and in the way you might interpret that, you might say, oh, Lou, well, why does that matter? Like, so what? You still can freely speak about what you want, because you can still post it even if it's demonetized. This is my initial thought process on it as well. Is like, okay, well, they're not really shutting down speech because you can still post it, but it kind of maneuvers it a bit, because the moment at which you're doing this particular job as a profession, you have to be interested in whether or not it's a valid piece of content for monetization, because that's essentially what allows you to continue to do it. And so you may be able to talk about this more sensitive stuff, but you're probably going to just loosely shy away from it. You're probably just going to be like, well, skip it and do something different. Like, even just casually, you know what I'm saying? Because you know that these stipulations exist. So the effect of this is that the bigger voices that are out there will stay away from potentially important subject matter almost subconsciously, because they'll condition themselves to kind of just like leave that particular topic alone, in which you would have otherwise thrown it in, mentioned it, maybe had a take, maybe discussed it as human beings would. See, oftentimes on this show, for example, we'll start out the show talking about what we talk about, then we'll roll the clips and it'll be like stuff that's been selected, and sort of like, not that that's a bad thing. Preparation is good. Like, you have things you want to talk about and cover, things that you think are important. But like, you also, to a certain extent, the casual nature of discourse and conversation can't exist in its purest form in an environment like this. Now, I get it. Ultimately, advertisers decide, right? They are in the driver's seat. They run the whole site, essentially, because they pay the bills. They pay everybody's bills. I mean, none of this great stuff exists without the subsidization. I don't think the platform would have ever been as successful as it has been under any other model, in my opinion. If you were asking people to pay for YouTube to distribute that to content creators in the early days, no one would have done it. So then guys like me wouldn't have hopped on the platform, because it wouldn't have been a viable thing to do. It wouldn't have been a responsible thing to do in my own personal circumstance at the time. There had to be an avenue, and the audience was only ready for one particular level of investment, and the content creators could only do it knowing that there was some degree of expectation that could be met because of that transaction. Mm-hmm. So I get all that, but I'm just saying it's a slippery slope, and you start to wonder about how conversations are shaped by this policy. I never experienced it before I came down here and started speaking on more topics. Upstairs, it never happens in Unbox Therapy. There's never demonetization. But now it sort of plays tricks on how you view certain subject matter and the stuff that you avoid. And if you edit yourself in any kind of way, and you start to realize that even that soft edit can really have a massive impact on the overall discourse. Mm-hmm. That soft edit. And so there's always going to be channels out there that are a bit more loose with it than others. And in certain cases within this demonetization policy, there's good reason for it. Like, there's some stuff where it's really understandable. Then there's other stuff where it's a little bit tougher. And I know we've talked about this in the studio previously, like even channels like CNN and stuff that show sensitive subject matter, there's ads there. Right. So maybe it should just pull from some other ad pool instead of being so black and white, where it's like ads on, ads off. Maybe it's like this is a grade D. Like for movies, you have PG, PG-13. Exactly. And then the advertisers can select what they're willing to advertise against. I mean, I think that the system has to become more sophisticated to protect the type of conversation that people approach on the platform. That's my opinion. That was a big part of JonTron's video as well. Anyway, good on him, by the way. #1 on trending. 2 million views on an update video. You never see this. Mm-hmm. So I can pretty much guarantee that this man matters very much to his audience. I think those are some really impressive figures to pull on an update video. How many subscribers does he have? 5 million? So 5.5 million subscribers to get 2 million views on an update video. Just like, hey, I'm going to respond to a couple things in a robe beside a TV with flames on it. I mean, that guy has a real relationship with his audience to be able to do that. And I think that's very impressive. So good for him. And also I watched a couple of his clips. So yeah, it's funny. It's your funny kind of commentary critical commentary of like clips from around the web or products that are bogus and stuff like that. So you probably want to go check it out. Good for you, JonTron. An update video at 2 million views. I'm telling you, I don't see this every day. Top of trending. Well done.
Shout out.